fight fans? So Khamzat Chimaev pretty much destroys Kevin Holland, and I think all of us would have seen that coming because we know Kevin Holland. He is one hell of a striker. This guy got some dangerous hands, and I think Khamzat Chimaev, being that this was only a very short notice fight, all to due to him. But let me get into that. But first, I think because he knew how dangerous Kevin Holland could be on his feet and with his hands, he right away went for that takedown. Right away, because I think he knew he didn't game plan for this fight. He knows Kevin Holland isn't a great wrestler, not even a wrestler in general. I believe, I can't remember exactly who he went against. It was a couple of fights ago, and he openly said, like, hey, I need to do better at grappling. Remember that fight when he was actually trying to talk to Khabib that one time? And Khabib was like him, like, hey, do this, do that. There was like almost a coaching and whatever. So yeah, I definitely would have loved to see what striking they would have been able to do. But Khamzat Chimaev definitely took it to the ground. He just went after him and then just ran him over and kept him on the ground until he was able to submit him. And they definitely had some heat. They had some bad blood backstage, but they squashed it all in the octagon. No problem, no worries. But we watched this fight because of one person only. We watched the Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz because of one person only, and that is Khamzat Chimaev. The man decided to miss weight. And here's why I have a big problem with that. I have no problem. You go look at Charles Oliveira. He missed, what, a half a pound. No big deal. Half a pound, what, is a finger? But this guy literally missed almost 10 pounds. That literally almost says that you did not try. You did not even attempt to drop more pounds. He says in the interviews, he says that he wants to keep trying. The doctor knows better. Like, dude, no, you keep trying, you're just going to end up in the hospital. Like, sure, you can be like, oh, well, I tried, but I end up in the hospital. Like, no, you knew how close this fight was. You knew where your weight was at, and you know your body better than all of us know. We all know 100% how our bodies are. We know, like, hey, if you go up to another fighter who weighs 200 pounds and says in a month you got to fight 170, you know better. You're like, hey, you know what? I don't think I can make that. You know you can't. You want to be all this tough and badass, sure. And in the press conference, he's talking about how he's a professional, how he doesn't like the fact that Nate Diaz smokes, and that he doesn't think any of his fellow people that he lives with over there in either Sweden, or I'm not exactly sure what other country he lives with, but his fellow pedestrians, or whatever you want to call them, the people that he goes to, the people that know him as a fighter, they don't like him. They don't like Nate Diaz and such, but that's bull. We all know Diaz is a worldwide superstar. Not just saying that because I am a fan of Nate Diaz, but because, it's just true. It's just facts. Everybody watches a Nate Diaz fight. Nate Diaz, to me, outside of Conor McGregor, is the biggest draw in UFC. 100%. So with that being said, yeah, it really looks bad on Khamzat Chimaev. Like, even Dana White, when they talked about the potential matching him with Kobe Covington, he's like, I don't even know if this guy can make weight. Like, you almost don't want to schedule him fights at 170 because of this. Like, literally, he personally messed up a lot of things. The Leech was training for Tony Ferguson. You got Tony Ferguson training for the Leech. You got Nate Diaz training for Khamzat. You got Khamzat training for him for Nate Diaz. You got Kevin Holland training for his opponent. So everything just got mixed around. And these guys, they had potential losses and potential wins. They all lost because of Khamzat Chimaev refusing to really take this fight seriously. And sure, maybe he was taking this fight seriously coming towards it, but just because you're doing that with your training, but you're not losing weight, that still shows you're not taking this fight seriously. You're not being respectful. And no, you're not being professional either. You might call Nate Diaz unprofessional and all that stuff, but you have to make weight. That's very professional. That is a very big to do for Dana. Dana White hates it. Even though at the press conference he didn't seem all that upset. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Who knows? But yeah, what do we do with Khamzat next? Like, where does Khamzat go from here? Personally, in my opinion, he built himself another fight with Paulo Costa. You guys saw that. I'm sure you guys did. Or look it up. Look up the fact that, he got Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev training wars at the PI. So now that's why I feel like, and that could be at 185. I don't think we should see him at 170 for a little bit. Either that, or make sure it's way more in advance of notice. But even with that, it's just like, do you give this another title shot? Someone asked Khamzat Chimaev in the press conference, Hey, what are you gonna do if they give you a title shot? Like, they're probably not gonna give it to you with the fact that you just lost, and or not just lost, but that you missed weight. And he says, well, who else are going to give it to you? It's like, it's not the point of the fact that you did not do good or you didn't do good. It's the fact that you just missed weight. So why are they going to give you, reward you with a title shot at 170 pounds? At a non-title shot, if you guys know this, a non-title shot, you are allowed 1 pound allowance. He couldn't even make that. He couldn't even get to that 1 pound allowance. He was at 178.5, maybe more, maybe less. Who knows? But that's what it read: 187.5 or 188.5, one or the other. Nonetheless, still, so you go in there, here's a title shot, and you can't even make that weight. What do we do now? So, yeah, there's just a lot that Khamzat has to learn. A lot Khamzat, needs time to adjust to, because when you become a star, when you become a big box office draw, people pay to see you, and they expect you to be a professional and make weight. Yeah, of course, being professional is also, training, making sure you're eating properly and such, but it's also making weight. No one could just walk in there and like, I'll walk in there 10 pounds more. And he definitely seemed very apologetic. Like, he didn't even say, hey, you know what? I'm very sorry that I messed this up. I know you guys want to see me versus Nate Diaz. I'm very sorry for Kevin Holland. He was training for somebody else. The Leech, Tony Ferguson, very sorry. But no, he just went in there like, whatever, it is what it is. He don't care about that. He don't care about that. And he went in there and ran over Kevin Holland. And it still made him look very, very bad. He got booed. He got booed out of the damn stadium. Or, and so it's just like, damn, what do we do with this? What do we do with this? Do we reward him or do we make him go up to 185? Dana White was very hesitant to answer that. My personal opinion, get him to 185. He already built himself a title, not a title shot, another fight with Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa is very open, unless you want to get him right back in there right away. I don't think he messed up. He hurt himself at all, and I don't think that he even broke a sweat. He didn't get hurt by Kevin Holland. So yeah, you could put him in there. Or my big one is, maybe what you guys can do is put him in there against a big brother, Nick Diaz. Nate Diaz, last fight on his contract, he's out. He's done. He's going off and probably going to box Jake Paul. He even mentioned about being at Jake Paul's fight with Anderson Silva, October 29th, which should be a very good fight. But yeah, you got Nick Diaz, who's still contracted with the UFC. You could still have a big fight, and this time it could be at 185. Because that's where Nick Diaz fights at now. He's a big boy now. You look at him, if you guys saw him with Nate Diaz in his training corner, dude's huge. Dudes look like he could fight a light heavyweight. Good God, he's huge. So yeah, that would be a very fun fight. Here he is, Khamzat Chimaev, talking all this stuff about the Diaz brothers, how he was going to kill them and how he was going to dominate them, he was going to destroy them, that Nate Diaz was scared of him and such and so forth and so forth. Well, you know what? Here it comes. Here's come Big Brother. You know what? You could go in there, and Nick Diaz, even though he has not been the same and he's been very inactive, that last fight with Robbie Lawler wasn't the greatest. He was very slow, but who knows? Maybe this is the motivation that he actually needs. You got this guy who is just talking mad smack about your brother, who wants to hurt your brother, and then here he comes to save the day, just like any other big brother would. That's my personal opinion. But other than that, it's very disrespectful for Khamzat. I'm very disappointed in that because, like I said, a lot of guys lost a lot of opportunities, lost a lot of potential wins, and lost a lot in their career because he refused to make that weight. And so, yeah, it's very disappointing. But nonetheless, he still did look kind of good. I'll give him credit. And why I say kind of, because he wrestled somebody who has next to no wrestling experience. Literally. He was getting out wrestled at one point and in his career, and he needed to stop. And I think he went to AKA. I think he went to train with DC. I think he went to train with Habib to get his wrestling better. So he out wrestled someone that was not even wrestling. Is he going to be able to do that to somebody like a Kobe Covington, who is a high-level wrestler, or a Kamaru Usman, who is a high-level wrestler? So, yeah, and again, he didn't even get to train for Khamzat. And honestly, I really thought Khamzat was going to burn himself out, because regardless of the fact that maybe, well, not maybe, but Kevin Holland is actually a non-wrestler, he still actually did very good. So, nonetheless, guys, what do you think is going to be next for Khamzat? Are you guys disappointed with him? Disappointed in his actions? Disappointed in the fact that he didn't even apologize? Disappointed at the fact that we didn't get that Nate Diaz fight? What do you think is going to happen next with his opponents? Is he going to go up to middleweight? Is he going to face Paulo Costa after talking all that smack? Or is the UFC going to grant him a title shot? Which, come on, think about it. Like, that's Probably not the greatest smart move to do, but it is what it is. So what do you guys think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.